If you are a retro game collector like me, then you need to know that Google Stadia is amazing. Now, I usually don't make clickbaity titles or even really videos on current kind of newsy stuff, but I did. That being said, Google Stadia is like a dream come true to me, and I mean that like in the sense that it is utterly failing. If you collect old media, the physical discs, everyone's I mean, you've even seen some of my videos. You can see that nowadays, first we lost the manuals, and then now it's like they want to get rid of discs. And one thing I always wondered is, with a digital copy of the game, it's the same price as a physical copy. And obviously I like physical copies, but I mean, how can it be the same $60 or even some digital collector's edition for $80? It doesn't make any sense. I mean, you're saving them money. They don't have a disc, they don't have a case, they don't have to print anything, they don't have to ship anything. There's no real estate. It's just server space, which they already have. So I've always been, I'm obviously against the digital future. And when they started talking about these streaming services, and I'm talking Stadia, I'm talking xCloud, and anything else that's coming on the market, it makes me really nervous. I mean, I hate the idea of not owning a game. And then really the streaming services to me are even worse than a digital download, because with a digital download, at least you can download it. With a streaming service, what happens if your internet gets knocked out? I mean, I'm from Florida originally, and I've been in storms and the internet goes out. That happens. Up here where I'm at now, big snowstorm hits, the internet goes out. What are you gonna do? That being said, Google Stadia is the answer to my prayers. Before I jump into Google Stadia's tire fire situation, I'm going to talk about the xCloud, which is Xbox's version. Now, of course, the xCloud isn't out yet, but it is in beta, and the first impressions people are getting, I've actually signed up for it, I haven't gotten an invite yet, but people's first impressions of it is the lag isn't that bad, there's a lot of games included on launch, and then also Xbox ties it into Game Pass, so like at a minimum, you get to stream hundreds of games. I mean, like, I hate talking good about the thing that I definitely don't like, but I mean, if there's a version of it that people would enjoy, I would say xCloud's probably the one. That being said, let's go back over to Stadia, which came first and is ruining it for everyone. Thank God. So, you're talking about Stadia. You're talking about paying, I think it's like $10 a month or something to stream. But that fee, I do believe, comes like a few games, but nothing like xCloud. So just a handful of games maybe. But on top of that, you're paying full price for the games. So I'm paying $10 a month, and then I want to play Rise of the Tomb Raider or whatever, and I'm paying $60, which I can't download it, and I don't technically, physically own it. It's just on a server somewhere so far away it's insane, right? Now, like I said kind of earlier, there's a lot of stuff with that. Input lag. I mean, there has been, of course, it's going to vary for internet people. Where I'm at now, I have a Fios gigabit connection, so it probably would work pretty well for me here. Like I said, I haven't got to test it because I don't want to, and I'm not going to support that madness. But there's been reports of seconds of input lag. I mean, like, you press jump and then your character is not doing anything and then they jump. One thing I read on an article, I forgot where it was, I'm really sorry, but someone who had like 300 hours in Destiny 2 was playing the first level and died like 27 times because of the lag. Against a regular, you played Destiny, you might have. If you have played Destiny, then you know that the first level isn't that bad. But I mean, if you can't move and you can't shoot, what are you gonna do? Heaven forbid a multiplayer game. How could you even be competitive? I don't even know. But I mean, so you have this input lag situation. On top of that, what happens with data caps? One of their big things is I'm going to be able to stream this on my phone. I can play it anywhere because you don't need a game console or a computer. The server does it for you. But I mean, data caps are a thing on my phone, all the time. If I take a trip with my wife and we're using GPS a lot, all of a sudden I'll get a text message from old Verizon like, hey, you have 1 gig of data left. I mean, just imagine trying to stream a 4K game or just any game. I mean, that's going to burn through your data instantly. And then home data caps. I used to have a home data cap when I lived in Texas, and I would hit my limit just playing Destiny on my Xbox. I mean, I can't even imagine if I had to stream the whole thing, not just playing online. I mean, you're going to hit it instantly, especially if you're trying to do 4K. That being said, speaking of 4K, oh my god, I was planning on making this video earlier in the week and just having it ready. It's Friday now, so this will come out tomorrow, which for you is today, which is Saturday. Or if you're watching it in the future, then Saturday in the past. But anyway, I'm kind of glad I waited because more news keeps coming out. If you pre-ordered the Stadia bundle, you got a controller and you got like a Chromecast to stream with. Now, I don't think this is that mainstreamly known because a lot of people don't stream 4K with their Chromecasts, but now it is, and that is the fact that apparently 4K streaming puts so much stress on a Chromecast that they are overheating like lava hot. And apparently this has been a thing since the 4K Chromecasts came out for Netflix and stuff, but once again, it's one of those things that doesn't come up very often because, I'm not saying not a lot of people stream in 4K, but I mean the difference is probably larger. But now all eyes are on Stadia. The 4K Stadia Chromecast comes out. People are streaming their 4K gaming, and these are now media reporters who are trying to review a new thing. And what are they getting? These hot Chromecasts are basically burning up in the back of their TVs. I mean, like, oh my god, I love that Stadia is failing so hard. Why specifically? I personally think that because of this massive problem, it's now going to put a huge kind of dark cloud over game streaming. And like I said, I haven't been able to test it myself, but if you just look at what you get, I mean, if I was going to say, hey, we're in an all streaming future, xCloud looks like the better deal. It looks like the better thing. But now you have this huge dumpster fire of Stadia. And then, the average person, the mainstream person who's maybe not even a big gamer, just like, they say, hey, don't buy the streaming stuff. You can't play the damn games. They're overheating and burning houses down. It's Christmas time. You plugged in too many sockets. I mean, who knows? I mean, it's so much bad press that when something possibly good comes around, like, say, an xCloud or whatever, whoever wants to throw their head in the race, everyone's going to be apprehensive. I'm thinking that this situation probably bought physical media owners like myself and other people out there who like owning the physical thing. I think it bought us a little bit more time. I'm not saying like, oh my god, everyone's going to give up on this. They're not. This is going to happen. It is. It sucks. And next generation definitely will be physical media. The generation after that, I mean, we're already looking at the Xbox One S all digital version, the SAD version, which doesn't even have a disc drive. And people are they like the idea of getting a Blu-ray player with their console, but more and more people are using Netflix, Disney Plus. I mean, hell, I have Disney Plus. It's awesome. And I have a huge DVD collection, so right, isn't that now that I'm thinking about it, why do I care so much about one versus the other? I don't know, but it's just I think this is going to derail it a little bit. And by a little bit, I mean I think it'll buy just the whole industry in general probably a few more years, maybe 2-3 more years of apprehension before everyone's on board with it, which means that you get that much more time tacked onto the back end of physical games. And will there always be a limited run games? Will there always be a super rare games? Maybe. I mean, as long as there's a way to play physical copies of games, i.e. consoles with a disc drive or a cartridge port, I do think at a minimum someone will make something for them. How long will that last? I don't know. I hope as long as possible, because I really enjoy, like, if the power's out, I can grab my Game Boy or my Switch that doesn't rely on, power, obviously, and pop in a physical game and play it. Don't need internet. You know, the internet's out. I can grab my Sega CD and throw in, you know, Popful Mail, you know, and you know, I feel like I was telling all my friends the same thing back when we lost manuals. You know, and at the time, oh my god, I hated the fact that we didn't have a game manual. I remember when all the manuals were beautiful and in color, some games came with maps and all that, and this isn't a special edition. And then they all went to black and white, and I was like, oh, that's cheap. And then they all went to these little one-page things that literally just had the controls. And then they got rid of them, and, you know, it's like as you go, like, you get kind of, like, complacent. You're like, oh, it's fine, we don't need this stuff, you know, it's been so long, we haven't had it. Or like now, you get a game, you know, from someone and it has a manual, and you're like, oh, that's really cool, when, like, that used to just be the norm. I mean, you're still paying the same amount, you know, so... You know, I do know eventually it's going to happen. One day, you know, if this channel is still around at that point, I'll be talking about, like, oh, let's do an unboxing of nothing. Because there won't be anything to open. And at that point, we would have been weaned on it so long that, you know, it feels normal. Kind of like how microtransactions, at first, you know, how can you add something to a game? And then now it's just like, you're expected it. You know, new game comes out, of course there's a season pass or 3. I mean, that's how they do it. They chip away at us. But, like I said, with Stadia being such a disaster, I do think that as a physical media collector of video games, it bought us all some more time. And that, to me, makes Stadia amazing. So, hey, that's going to do it for us today. You know, if you guys want some more kind of like current newsy type videos, let me know in the comments. You know, throw the like, dislike, you know, the normal stuff. Ring the bell, subscribe. Let's talk about what you guys think of Stadia. If any of you guys have Stadia, I want to know your experiences. So throw those comments down below. Like I said, I actually don't have it. I just love what it's doing. So anyway, as always, take it easy, guys.